Welcome to Stillworks and Brewing. My name is Randy, and this is a channel that's all about home distillation and brewing. So what do we got going on today? Well, today we're going to do the next episode of equipment we need to make bourbon. Okay, so today is distilling day, and we're going to start going through that. But first things first, there's 5 things that you can really do to help us out. Number 1, if you haven't had a chance yet, hit that subscribe button. It really helps. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything. Share us with your friends. Let everybody know about this channel. Give us a thumbs up if you like what you see. And last but not least, leave a comment and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so we're in the fermentation room here. So as of last last episode, we made our mash and got it fermenting. So it's been about 2 weeks. It's all done. How do we know that? Well, there's very important tools that we need to have. That is a test jar and your regular hydrometer, Pacific gravity hydrometer. Okay, so let's open this up and we're going to check it and make sure it's done. All right, we'll take the lid off of it. Now I'm going to use a wine thief. Can you see that? A wine thief. It just makes it a lot easier. It's not necessary, but it is very helpful. This is a plasma. It's very inexpensive. It's just so I can get a sample. Just remember that the refractometer at this point in time is not able to use that because it's already been fermented. The alcohol will mess up the readings. Okay, let's stick our hydrometer in here. And we got like 0.999. So yes, it is completely fermented out. I ain't sure if you can see, but anyway, the edge of that blue is 1.00. It's just a little bit below that, if you can see that. Okay, so we know that the fermentation is done. Okay, so one of the next things that we need is a siphon. I particularly use the auto siphon because it just makes it so much easier. They're relatively inexpensive. So what we're going to do is we're going to siphon our fermented corn mash down into our still pot, and then we'll get ready to get going. Okay? And just a quick note: why do we siphon? It's mainly so we can leave all the junk behind in the fermenter, so we can have the most clean mash going in the still, because we don't really want particles in it if we can help it, because they might scorch or something. So that's why we use the siphon. Okay, so the next piece of equipment you're going to need, well, we've talked before where you're going to need something to heat with. So you're going to need some way of heating your still. Now I'm using electric elements inside the still pot to heat it. So that's one way, or you can use a turkey fryer, whatever way that you're still what you need to do. Okay, so the next thing we want to talk about is the still itself. My particular case, I'm using an 8-gallon milk can still. It's got a 2-inch column. I put a sight glass on it, and it has a live big condenser on it. And that's just what I can. I'm gonna use it in hot still mode. But I can run this one in reflux because I have this reflux chamber on top here. Okay, so the stills are going to be, you're going to do some research and figure out what you want. This one's been very good to me. I bought this at Mile High Distilling. Okay, I haven't had any issues at all. Very nice workmanship. Okay, while the still's heating up, let's talk about some of the other things we're going to need. Number one, I like to use a measuring cup in the beginning because I want to measure off that I get 4 ounces of first to discard, so I got that. We're going to need a mess of small collection jars, depending on how much you're going to think you're going to get out of your still, so you need a mess of these. One of the other things very, very important is this looks just like the Pacific Gravity hydrometer, but it's not. This one is a Proof and Trails hydrometer. Okay, so kind of, sort of, this scale goes like this. Okay, get what I'm trying to say? So where this one leaves off, this one starts. And this is going to go from 0 to 100%. And then on the other scale, it's going to go from, what does it go from? 0 to 200 proof. Okay, very important tool. To go along with that, you're going to need a glass hydrometer jar. I did try a plastic one time, but with the high proof or the high percent alcohol, it turned it white. So I would suggest not that. Okay, so I'd get a glass one, and along with that, a stainless steel funnel really would come in handy. I was always taught you try to stay away from plastic with the high proof spirits that's going to be coming off. Okay, so as of right now, we're going to heat the still up. It's heating now, and we'll start to distill this off, and we'll be back. Okay, as you can see, the still starting to produce. The head temperature is about 175 degrees up top, a little plus, a little bit of minus. So you can see that we're using a measuring cup that we're going to measure off our first 4 ounces, and we're going to discard that, and that's going to be our 4 shots and heads. And then we'll start using collection jars. And after we collect the first 4 ounces, we'll move over to our collection jars. And these are 1 pint. I'll fill them about half, each one of them. And we'll make small cuts so that we can get the best product we can. Okay, so yeah, you will need a mess of these product cut jars. So, as soon as this has got up to 4 ounces, we're going to move on over. Okay, so we're finishing up with this run. So what we would do next is, of course, you would do your tasting and all that, decide what you want to keep and what you don't want to keep. So the next thing you might need, or the way I do it, is I got a couple mixing jars. They're about a gallon a piece, just a little bit over a gallon a piece. You know, pickle jars. They work great for that. So, and like I said, once you mix everything together, you're going to proof it down with a hydrometer, or Proof and Trails hydrometer. Okay, not the Pacific Gravity. This is a Proof and Trail. So you get it down to basically where you want. Me, myself, I like about 80 proof, 40% ABV. Okay, so after you get that where you want, you're going to need some bottles to put it in. Okay, well, let me back up. So once you get it down to where you want, on this particular case here with a bourbon, I use a scale, and I also use wood chips. So I will let it age in these on oak for the color I like and the taste I like. And then you'll need some bottles and a funnel. I have a funnel and coffee filters. Strain it into the bottles so you have a nice clear spirit. Okay, so I hope this helped out a little bit. It's nothing really common, not too awful much equipment you need. The biggest expense you're going to have to make bourbon would be, of course, the still. depending on how you want to do. You want to make your own, buy it, whatever the case may be. Everything else, a lot of times people that do this they come from the home brewing side, which a lot of this equipment will go back and forth. You can use on each. So if you want to start distilling, just get into it. You can do it. So I guess the last thing I need to say is, hopefully this was informative to you. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next time.